Und damit ein herzliches Willkommen zurück bei The Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. Im letzten Part haben wir den ersten Fall angefangen, der ganz interessant gestartet ist. Wir sind nämlich nicht Uyonosuke, sondern wir sind Susato Mikotoba, die im Gericht ihre beste Freundin verteidigen will, Wei Membani, wenn ich den Namen richtig erinnere. Denn diese wurde angeklagt, Giselle Brett, die Mörderin aus dem ersten Fall des ersten Teils, ermordet zu haben, in einer Umkleidekabine an einem Badesee. Denn die Giselle Brett durfte im Japan in der Meiji-Ära scheinbar noch frei herumlaufen, zwar unter polizeilicher Surveillance, Überwachung, aber sie durfte noch frei rumlaufen, und bevor sie dann nach Shanghai musste zu ihrem Gericht, wollte sie nochmal in einen Badesee. Und da war diese Wei Membani mit dabei, weil sie war genauso wie Giselle Brett eine Assistentin im Labor von Mr. Mikotoba, dem Vater von Susato, und der war zusammen mit Wei halt mit dabei. Genauso wie Hosonaga, der wieder ein Undercover-Polizist war, ein Undercover-Bodyguard sozusagen. Und ein gewisser Soseki Natsume war auch mit dabei, der vorher ein Interview mit dem Mikotoba gemacht hat. Und ja, die Giselle Brett wurde von hinten erstochen mit einem Messer, und auf diesem Messer war Gift drauf. Auch wieder ein bisher unbekanntes Gift, was in diesem Labor hergestellt wurde. Also Parallelen zum allerersten Fall von The Great Ace Attorney Adventures sind auf jeden Fall auch da. Und ja, es kam ein Foto auf, wie die Wei Membani das Messer quasi entweder rein oder rausgesteckt hat. Ich nehme mal eher an, rausgesteckt, aber wir können das nicht beweisen. Und dieses Foto wurde von jemandem gemacht, von einem Fotografen namens Menimemo, wenn ich mich richtig erinnere, der ein kleiner Stalker von dem Natsume ist, der sein Buch veröffentlicht hat, I Am the Cat, oder I Am a Cat, was wohl ziemlich erfolgreich war, was ihn auch ein bisschen verändert hat. Und dieser Menimemo war auch dabei bei einem Interview von dem Mr. Mikotoba und Soseki Natsume, wo dann Giselle Brett reinkam und meinte, oh, wäre das nicht voll geil, wenn wir dieses Gift, was noch niemand kennt, einfach der ganzen Welt teilen würden. Und dann wusste der Fotograf das. Und dieser Fotograf wird jetzt in Zeugenstand gerufen, und ich bin mal sehr gespannt. Ich denke mal, das ist der Täter, aber wir werden sehen. Ich hoffe, ich habe das jetzt einigermaßen verständlich zusammengefasst. Ansonsten skippt das einfach, was jetzt dumm zu sagen ist, weil wir jetzt am Ende sind. Aber, ja, ich würde sagen, wir spielen weiter. The Adventure of the Blossoming Attorney. Oh, whoops. Okay. 13th August, 11:30 a.m., Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom Number 1. I hereby call this court to order, as we reconvene to continue the trial of Wei Membani. Prosecutor Auchi, have you summoned the new witness? Before I address that question, Your Excellency, I have some very important news to share. Oh! What news? And why does he look so happy about it? During the recess, with the collaboration of Professor Mikotoba's laboratory at Yume University, the police re-examined the knife that was used to end Miss Giselle Brett's life. Excellent. I admire your rapid handling of the matter. Oh, too kind, Your Excellency. Too kind. I was merely carrying out your instructions, of course. I had the regent delivered to police headquarters by rickshaw, so it would be there in good time. But judging by the man's swagger, I fear we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable. Was heißt Swagger in diesem Contest? Also ich weiß, Swagger ist so eine Art Style, ne? Totschick. Angeberei, okay. Look at my swagger. I feel we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable. Okay, einen Moment mal ganz kurz. Okay. But judging by the man's swagger, I feel we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable. And counsel, what were the results? This dagger, which was so cruelly used to end the life of the victim, has no trace of poison anywhere along its blade. What? Are you sure about that? I would stake the reputation of the police on it. Armed with the reagents, the test is extremely simple. They couldn't have made a mistake. The murder weapon has been entered into the court record. A small knife from the scene of the crime that was found in the victim's bag. No trace of poison was found on the blade. Das ist natürlich mehr oder weniger schlecht. In short, the accused's feeble excuse earlier has been utterly destroyed. Aha! Now, the prosecution is ready to call the new witness. Ah, the newspaper reporter who managed to capture a photograph of the crucial moment. Good. Very well. Officer, bring on the witness. No trace of poison on the knife. Dann muss es irgendwo anders sein. But if that's really the case, how could the toxin have entered the victim's body? Warte mal. Nee, hier war es ja nicht drin mit dem Gift. Hier war Poison Article. Following a lecture at Yuma by Soseki Natsume on 11th August, blah, was stolen. Either via the mouth or via a wound from a poison-laced blade. Okay, also durch den Mund. Und sie hat doch ein Glas fallen lassen, oder nicht? Ja, hier. Dann muss das Gift diesmal in dem Glas gewesen sein. Da bin ich mir ziemlich sicher. How could the toxin have entered the victim's body? Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Writing Menimemo of the Shoyu News. I'm what people like to call a journal. What's a journal, father? Do you know? It's simply a contraction of journalist. As a contraction of journalist, okay. I'm there where the news breaks, putting pen to paper to catch those scoops so they are in the print the next morning. They don't call me the hero of the Herald for nothing. The nice guy of news. The nice guy of news, okay. Oh, so it was you who took this photograph, was it? Well, what have we here? I'm sorry? Oh, brace yourselves, people. Menimemo senses a scoop in the offing. Female student up to foul play, defended by curiously handsome young lawyer in Supreme Court. The readers will lap this up. We'll set it above the fold at 72 point in a 5-leg format for the morning edition. Huh? Right then, let's start with your name. Oh, it's Ryutaro Naruhodo. Next, what made you want to become a lawyer? I wanted to reform our country's legal system, I suppose. Ryutaro has suddenly become very ambitious, I see. I just borrowed Kazuma-sama's dream for a while. By the way, my name is Taketsushi Auchi. That's Taketsushi Auchi. The so-called dark horse of the Supreme Court. My objections strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart. No, the readers won't buy that. What? Witness. Whoops. Yes? What this court demands to know is whether or not you were responsible for the taking of this picture. It was delivered anonymously to the Imperial Police Bureau only yesterday. Yeah, I wouldn't be a journal if I didn't click quick when presented with a scoop like that now, would I? Sometimes stories call out to me, sometimes I have to chase them down, but either way you've got to be fast. Fast legs to run with, and a fast hand to write with. It's no good if you don't note it down, I always say. That's what I call my Menimemoism. Menimemoism, okay. Menimemoism? Ah yes, I remember your face. We met that day when you were interviewing myself and Susiki-san. Yes, right, that was me, Menimemo again. But you were supposed to be going back to the Shoyu news offices after our meeting. But the scoop is, I didn't. Because that Englishwoman's word had piqued my journalistic interest. Miss Brett's words. A criminal left to do as she pleases, just because she happens to be a British citizen? It's horse dung. This country's judiciary is rotten to the core. The Supreme Court's ruling aren't worth the paper they are written on. The police are just imperial pawns. Stay your tongue, young man. There are complex political issues at play. Well, anyway, I quickly jotted down those words she said in my memo pad. Das memo pad. Are you ready? I'll read it out. It's all here. Right here goes. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. A serious criminal going on some junket. The people need to know about this. That's why I decided to sneak after them. To get the woman's story, so I could hammer her in the press. Do you mean to say that you did indeed witness it firsthand? The grim scene portrayed in this photograph. Oh yes, I saw it with my very own journal eyes. From start to finish, through the viewfinder of my trusty camera. Thank you, Menimemo-san. You will now give a formal testimony before the court. You will state exactly what it is that you witnessed of the events surrounding Miss Brett's death. Ich dachte immer, before sagt man nicht, um zu sagen vor, aber scheinbar damals schon. The camera never lies. The beach hut was made of shoddy old weed screens, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside through. Bisschen creepy? The Englishwoman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the Englishwoman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back. My smoldering journal spirit burst into flames. Quick as a flash, I whipped out my camera, ready to click. I pulled apart the rough reef of one of the screens and poked the lens through for the perfect shot. Weed screens, you say? Was heißt Weed erstmal? Read. Schilf, okay. Und Weave? Gewebe, Bindung, okay. Right, you can see them clearly enough in that great shot I snapped. The hut walls were just screens made of coarsely woven weeds. Yes, it allows the breeze to pass through and bring some relief from the summer heat. And it was a breeze for me to poke my camera through and see the whole thing hotting up. Ignoring for the time being the appalling invasion of privacy involved. Did you witness everything that happened from the moment the defendant entered the hut? Oh yes, I saw it. I saw the whole thing from start to finish. And you say that you took the photograph through a gap in one of the screens. Luckily for me, they were pretty shoddily woven. I pulled the weeds apart and thrust the lens of my camera through the gap. Would I get away with it, or would I be seen? It was a gamble of a lifetime. A tenacity of purpose that's considered admirable in a journalist, I suppose. One a risk one day, one a scoop the next. That's Menimemoism in a nutshell. At last, it would appear we have a genuine witness to this wicked crime. The evidence and testimony are extremely compelling. I believe we may be close to a verdict. No! Wonderful news, Your Excellency. Wonderful. Nevertheless, it cannot be denied that this testimony begs one very large question. What question? Exclusive news, a startling photograph, all the makings of an exceptional story for the reporter. Why then was the story never published? Oh, that's right. It seems clear to me that there are circumstances at play here that are yet to be understood. Ha! More pathetic excuses. Very well then, Counsel. Proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, Your Excellency. There's more to this reporter than meets the eye. He's keeping something about this case very close to his chest. Cross-examination. The camera never lies. The B-chart was made of shoddy old read screens, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside through. Shoddy. Shoddy. Schäbig, okay. Oh, whoops, ich wollte Hold It machen. Go zurück. So. What made you want to see what was happening inside the B-chart in the first place? Call it journal instinct. Can you think of a better reason? Oh, I don't know. Perhaps because as well as being a proven criminal, the person inside was a young woman. Ah, I see where you're going with this. Brace yourselves, people. He's painting the journal as a voyeur. I mean, es ist schon ein bisschen creepy, ne, dass er durchpiekt, unter normalen Umständen. It's hardly slander, sir. You had a camera and you were taking pictures without the woman's knowledge. Nope, you've got it all wrong, little student boy. Sorry? To my mind, all that was inside that hut was a scoop. Nothing more, nothing less. Scoops know no gender, man or woman. It's all news. That's not even Menimemoism. It's basic journalism. If only the courtroom was as indiscriminate. Right, so if that's all buttoned up, can we move on? Tell the court then, witness, what sight befell your eyes when you looked inside the hut. When you looked. A sight that vindicated my journal instinct, that's what. When I pulled back the weeds, I could see it all as clear as day. The Englishwoman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her.
Hold it!
So you actually saw Membami-san entering the hut? Yup, and she was raging like my journal spirit. And the argument you mentioned, what was that about exactly? You stole it, I didn't steal it, that kind of thing. Talking about the poison, I suppose. The student girl walked right up to the Englishwoman and really started laying into her. I mean, if she'd laid into her anymore, there would have been eggs. Warte mal, wie heißt der Typ noch mit Vornamen? Menimemo, Reiten Menimemo, a journalist for the Shoyu News who's currently following Soseki-san everywhere, reporting on his every move. As a result, he's an eyewitness to the incident. If she'd laid into her anymore, there would have been eggs. The man should have been an author. His descriptive talents are wasted on journalism. But the student's rantings fell on deaf ears, like a Japanese person listening to English for the first time. He really ought to work on his similes though, first though, to be honest. Anyway, the point is that woman in the dock was mightily angry. Mightily. And her temper finally got the better of her, it seems. Dear me. which was the climatic moment that I caught on film. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the Englishwoman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back.
Hold it!
Do you swear before this court that you actually saw the precise moment when the stabbing took place? Ha! The precise moment? I didn't just see that. I saw the whole hellish scene play out, from start to finish. I have here a simple plan of the beach hut. Perhaps you could use it to explain to the court exactly what you witnessed. Right you are. It's all here in my memo pad. When I first peered into the hut, I'm sure that the Englishwoman was on the stool at the back of the hut here. Yes, the accused's own testimony confirmed that. She just sat at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly, is what I have noted down. It's my turn to testify now. Try not to interrupt. Then, the next moment as I was watching, the evil student's girl entered the hut. After a while, the pair of them ended up in the middle of the hut, arguing furiously. The Englishwoman went for the student, but the girl dodged out of the way. Witzige Animation. And in a flash, plunged the knife into her adversary's back as the two passed each other. What do you describe as a grim crime indeed? Never sugarcoat the truth. That's what Menimemoismus says. The beach hut plan has been entered into the court record, a plan of the layout of the small beach hut where the victim was found. By the way, Menimemoismus, whilst you were watching that terrible scene unfold before your eyes through the gap in the screen, did it not occur to you to try to prevent the tragedy, rather than capture it on film? Journals have to be observers. We can't get involved. That's our raison d'être. Also Raison ist Grund und être ist Sein, also unser Daseinsgrund. So you didn't converse with Miss Brett at all? Obviously not. An observer always remains on the outside, looking in. And that's something to be proud of, is it? Your Excellency, if I may. Yes, Professor. I think the witness' last expertly phrased statement should perhaps be added to his formal testimony. Father, what are you... I will grant the defense's request. Menimemoismus, you will supplement your formal testimony with the aforementioned statement. Well, nihilism is the foundation of Menimemoism, but I gladly prove that my words aren't meaningless. I never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke with the Englishwoman. I was there only as an observer. Ist das wahr? Ist das wahr, ist die Frage. Was war das Statement vorher nochmal? To the perfect shot. Oh, das wollte ich gar nicht. The court is fully aware of your desire to capture the incident on film, I'm sure. But why then did you choose to post the photograph anonymously to the police? I'm afraid I don't understand the word that's coming out of your mouth. I'm asking why, as a journalist, you decided not to make a story out of the incident. Think of me as a sculptor who makes art out of the sordid private details of other people's lives. But I never discuss my own personal life on principle. I mean, that's basic Menimemoism. It's not something to boast about. No doubt your burning desire to see the truth exposed and justice done was what motivated you. That's it. It's brilliant. My burning desire to see something or other exposed. There has to be a good reason why he didn't think to write an article about what he saw though. By your own admission, you were outside the hut. How then did you manage to take the photograph? Ah yes, that. I'm glad you asked. Okay, was ich eigentlich gucken wollte, war die Konversation, was wir schon gepresst hatten. Bla, was war das Statement vorher? Okay. Memo pad, okay. Second player, the girl put out a knife. Okay. I pulled apart the rough weave of one of the screens and poked the lens for the perfect shot.
Hold it!
But the two women inside didn't notice. Ha! Obviously not! If they had, where would I be right now? In jail, that's where. Which you'd think would make you reflect on what you were doing. No, a journal's job is to collect little snippets of life as unobtrusively as possible. Leave nothing but footprints. Take nothing but photos. Yes, that's spot on. Did he just make that up? The point is, the witness risked life and limb to obtain this photograph. And this photograph reveals the whole truth. There's nothing more to be said. I never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke with the Englishwoman. I was there only as an observer. Ich glaube, da müssen wir das presenten, aber ich quest erstmal. Really, you didn't set foot inside the hut at all. Are you quite sure about that? I think you may have the wrong impression of me. We are talking about the murder scene here. My nerves were stretched to breaking point already. Oh, I see. You were scared. Maybe I did have the wrong impression of you, yes. It was all I could do to stifle a scream and hold my hand steady enough to snap the shot. You really should have summoned help before thinking of your camera. Menimemoism and humanism don't always agree. And most of the time in those instances, Menimemoism comes out on top. As a sculptor of stories, sometimes I have to be cruel for my art. Yes, that's spot on. Surely he's making all this up. He claims to have spied the whole affair from the start to finish. If true, his testimony is devastating. But it does seem as though he's holding something back, doesn't it? If that's how you feel, I suggest that you trust your instincts and press him on everything he said. As you've no doubt seen done many times before in your role as judicial assistant. Yes, I have. I've seen witnesses like this pressed often. I know exactly what to do. Okay. I guess dann hier, ne? Aber was? Was könnte das sein? Victim Culprit. Murder Weapon. Gucken wir uns das auch nochmal an. Ah yes, this must be the victim's blood. Oh dear, blood is never a pretty sight, is it? I'm having to fight the urge to run it under a hot tap and get it clean. You've always been fastidious about cleanliness, haven't you? I think this is something else, Father. Okay. Chemical Regent. Okay, das auch nicht, denke ich mal. No one set foot in the hut, nor spoke with the Englishwoman. I was there only as an observer. A fountain pen bearing the initials RM. There is a small reservoir inside into which ink can be drawn. Hat nie mit ihr gesprochen. Ich speichere mal ganz kurz. So, yes.
Objection!
Okay, das war falsch. Das war falsch, okay. Was denn dann? Ne, und Set Food und Salat.
Objection!
Okay, ich dachte, weil da Fußspuren drauf sind, aber nein. Ups, wieder neu laden. Zack, zack.